Hi everyone. Okay, so I am doing a project that's multi-steps. So the first step though is doing sort of like a bloom. I'm not necessarily going for an actual flower necessarily. I'm just trying to get something that would look kind of cool in the center, and as it comes in, do a nice design. I am using, this is a 1-to-1 ratio epoxy resin from the resin store, and I really like it. I've already mixed it for 4 minutes and put it in my debubble machine for about 18 minutes. And I'm going to take the temperature, and we're at 35, so we're going to get going, and I'll show you what the next step is. Otherwise, I'm just going to put on music so you guys can watch. Have a good day. Bye. guys, so I mixed up the 2-to-1 NicPro. I coated it with the BlingIt Crimson Lust. I tinted my resin with the Red Deep, and now I'm going to add a mechanism to it. This is my second one actually that I've done. I did kind of already do a slight prototype and it actually worked. The next thing that I am just trying to do is figure out how to make it so it's not so hard to get the charging port to not get submerged into the resin, because it was very difficult to get out. So I just want to try and get it like a slight even coat of resin around here before I put it in. I know that I left some, I didn't dust off the mica before I poured because I figured it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that it's really pretty. If the mica floats up to the top, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna place this in here. Yeah, see, that's one thing that I am really concerned about. I really don't want resin in there. So we will just have to play around with it, see what we can do. This is kind of fiddly part. See if we can get it to stay like that. I want to push this down a little bit more. Okay, and we'll just try and fill this up. The best that we can. Okay, I'm gonna do that much for now. There, that's better, I think. Alright, I'm going to play around with this and I will show you the final result. Hopefully this one will work just as well as the last one. I hope you guys have a great day and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Hi everyone. Okay, so let's see how this turned out. Put some gloves on. At least we'll, see what the art looks like, and then we will have to do some work to try to get the this out. But that's how it looks. Some of the mica floated to the top. That's okay. Okay. Alright, here we go. Let's see what the art looks like. Okay, so I like that. That looks pretty cool. I was telling my husband I wanted kind of like a flame or smoke look so that I could put the red on the back, and that's kind of what that looks like. It looks like smoke. Alright, so you can see that some of the resin came up. Let's see how it's soft. So I'm going to have to take this all out clean out the port, and I will let you know if it works or not. See you soon. Okay everybody, so it turned on. You see the port, and it will turn blue if I can find the right area for it to charge. Let's see if we can figure it out. There we go. And now it's charging. Alright, it works. Woohoo! See you later.